Chelsea fans, that was a huge 3 points. Chelsea beat ASTANA 3-1 away in Kazakhstan tonight and picked up another 3 points to sit comfortably top of the Conference League table. Tonight was one of those games that could have gone another direction. Playing away in Kazakhstan has a lot of travel and a massive time difference. Playing in minus 10 degrees temperature is a big ask even for professional athletes, let alone the fans that travelled, so I salute you. And a lot of academy players in the mix. If Marc Guiu didn't get this right, this could have been a recipe for disaster. This was a very interesting game to watch with very interesting circumstances and a lot of positives to take from this. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the 5 things that we learned from ASTANA 1, Chelsea 3. Did you know that 90% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the channel? So make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. Make sure you join the community and let's get into the video. First thing I want to talk about is Marc Guiu. What a talent we have signed for less than 10 million. I think it was like 5 million euros, 6 million euros. Absolute steal of a player. We know how good his pressing is. We know that he's young. We know that his link-up play is fairly decent, but we knew his finishing needed to improve. It's very raw. It needs to be harnessed. Tonight, he was unbelievable up until he came off the pitch. He was in and amongst it, scored a very good solo goal to break the deadlock. It was a great bit of hustling from him to get in behind. He had a lot to do when he received the ball on that right-hand side to drive in, and the finish very clinical, and he took his time. It was very composed, and it's something that we can see from the future of what Marc Guiu is going to develop into as a striker. He is a phenomenal talent and played very, very well tonight. You could also see how much the goal meant to him when he scored it. The second goal, there was a lot of dispute whether it was an own goal or it was Marc Guiu's goal. In my opinion, I watched the replays many, many times. I think UEFA gave the goal to Guiu because he was the last one to touch the ball before it went in the net. So I don't know what the confusion is there. But again, it's a great run into the box to be in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you can't teach that. Sometimes you can. Marc Guiu has been very unlucky when it comes to his finishing at Chelsea. There's been a few chances he's put away very nicely and a few chances that he should have done better with. But tonight, he was absolutely unstoppable. He played exceptionally well. The second thing that I want to talk about is Josh Acheampong. What an unbelievable talent. I am so grateful that Chelsea and Acheampong are this close to signing a new deal because what a player we saw tonight. Now, I will say that you can only play who is in front of you, but I think that goes out of the window when you're talking about an academy player breaking into the first team, especially in a European competition. This is new territory for him. We know how good Josh is, but tonight he showcased, for me, one of the best players on the pitch. I couldn't pick between Renato Vega or Acheampong to be my man of the match because they were both outstanding tonight. We know what Vega can bring to the table, but for Josh Acheampong, what a game to prove himself. Now, I understand with the contract talks, there was a lot of sort of backwards and forwards about his pathway of how he could break through, and obviously that is being resolved behind the scenes, and hopefully that gets fully resolved and we have Acheampong for the future because he is going to be an incredible right back. He was confident on the ball, comfortable making the passes. He was inverting from the right-hand side. He was pushing forward at times. His link-up play was great. He was absolutely phenomenal tonight, and he showcased why we need to keep him. The third thing I want to talk about is a professional performance. This performance tonight was perfectly spot on, and it could have gone either way. Like I said, there was a lot of unusual circumstances in tonight's game. The travel, the time difference, the temperature, the pitch, to be fair, you know, playing in minus conditions, the pitch was frozen at points. The most of it was frozen. The centre circle looked defrosted and the rest didn't. You also have a lot of academy boys in the mix, and you're playing an opposition where in their back garden, you don't know what you're going to get until the game starts. But I feel like it was a very professional performance from Chelsea. We went out there with a job to do. Everyone had their roles and they executed it perfectly. Yes, we conceded a goal. Obviously, that is a negative. But when you look at the goal we conceded, cool. I don't think there was much we could do about that. Maybe the defending was a bit lackluster on our part. We're a bit lazy to have the opportunity created for them. But in terms of the finish, I don't blame anyone for that. It was a great goal. But overall, it was a fantastic performance from all of the boys that went out there and played tonight. Marc Guiu got it spot on. On a night where it could have gone horribly wrong and Chelsea could have dropped points in the Conference League, we got it absolutely spot on. And I feel like there was the correct balance between experience and academy to get the job done in a convincing manner. The fourth thing I want to talk about is the academy boys did themselves proud. They all played fantastic. The standards that they showed tonight was unbelievable, and it kind of reiterates how good Cobham as an institute is at bringing through these academy talents. You had Tyreek George, Raksakchi, you had Acheampong, you had Harvey Vale, you had a couple of others that made their debuts. Every single academy player that played tonight did not look out of place whatsoever. And like I said, this is a new experience for them in a European competition in a very unique set of circumstances of the place, the temperature, the time difference, the pitch quality, everything about it. And they excelled in this competition, in this game tonight. And when I say this game could have gone either way, and I've mentioned it a few times, this is the type of ingredient that could go wrong. If the academy boys weren't up to standard, Maresca had chucked a lot in, had a lot on the bench. There wasn't a lot on the bench to kind of take the game back to Astana if we were under the cosh. It was kind of, look, this is the squad we travelled with, we need to get the job done. Everyone stepped up and they showcased why they should be playing and pushing for first team, either squad or places within the Chelsea squad. They were unbelievable tonight. And in a nice way, it reminds us Chelsea fans that we have a very bright future ahead of us with the academy talent coming through, as well as the first team squad improving game by game. But honestly, fair play to the academy guys tonight. They played exceptionally well and they'll be very proud of that performance they put on. And before we get into the fifth and final thing that we learned from Astana 1, Chelsea 3, I have some honourable mentions. And the first honourable mention is the travelling fans are unbelievable. Honestly, you guys, I applaud you. I take my hat off to you. I salute you. Unbelievable. 8 hours of flying, 3 connecting flights, a 5-hour time difference, minus 10 degrees to stand in the away end to watch Chelsea play in Kazakhstan against Astana. You are the real ones. I was watching from the luxury of my home in the warm, and all I could think about was how cold you guys were. You did Chelsea Football Club proud tonight. And I know this may sound like a bit of a stretch, but honestly, it needs to be recognised. It needs to be appreciated. I was watching it along with millions of others that were watching it, and all I could hear was Astana fans when they had the ball, but when they didn't, all I could hear was the away end and the Chelsea fans. Now, it genuinely felt like the atmosphere in that crowd was buzzing for the whole home and away for the whole game. But to hear you in the away end with all the unusual circumstances to be there, I genuinely salute you. If I worked for Chelsea Football Club, and unfortunately I don't, I would be giving each and every one of you a specialised Christmas present for the dedication to do all of that to watch our team play. And the second honourable mention is Enzo Maresca got things right. In Enzo Maresca, we trust. This guy is blowing my mind week by week with his tactical choices, his team selections, and the way that the team, as a unit, as a system, as individual players are performing game by game. We're on an incredible run right now, not just in the Conference League, but in all competitions. We are really starting to assert our dominance and becoming this force that people are starting to fear. Rival fans are starting to go, hang on a minute, Chelsea are actually doing really well right now. What's happened? Or Enzo Maresca is a really good manager. These players are playing a lot better now. Everything that Maresca seems to touch right now turns to gold, and long may it continue. Yes, people are expecting us to win the Conference League, and I understand that. I never want to put expectation on the players. I think that's not fair, because football's football and anything can happen. However, I feel very, very confident because as each game goes, we understand there's a disparity between the squads, there's a disparity between the opposition and our first team, but the teams that we are playing, with the squads that we are choosing, we are still getting the job done in a professional manner. And Enzo Maresca deserves credit for that because he knows these players inside and out. And it's so refreshing for a guy to come in and be here for 6 months and transform what our position in the table is and what we're doing in all these competitions compared to the last 2 years with a myriad of managers we had who didn't even know who their starting 11 was going to be on a week-by-week basis. It's such a stark difference that we have an identity, a system, and a philosophy, and Enzo Maresca is instilling a culture. And the fifth and final thing we learned from Astana 1, Chelsea 3 is Chelsea have a 100% record in the UEFA Conference League. And yes, it may be a given. We must be expected to win this competition. Anything less than that is an embarrassment or a failure. And like I always say, football is football. You never know what you're going to get. You can only play who's in front of you, and you need to earn the results. And that's exactly what Chelsea are doing in a professional manner. One game at a time, trying to rack up the points and the victories and seeing how far we can go. This game, a lot of people wrote off and thought, well, Maresca doesn't care about this game because he's taken a load of academy boys because of all the travelling, the time difference. If we lose, we lose, blah, blah, blah. And to be fair, I had an element of that to myself of like, if we lose, I wouldn't be that mad because of the circumstances, there's a lot of travel. Plus, we were already top of the table. But there was a big part of me that wanted to see Chelsea win regardless because I'm a greedy fan and I like watching my team win football games. And that seems to be what's happening in the Conference League. Now, I understand there's a disparity. People are saying, oh, Chelsea are too good for the Conference League. And I see where they're coming from. When you look at our squads, it is actually outrageous compared to a lot of the teams in this Conference League. However, we don't have a choice. It's the competition we're in and we have to play it a game at a time like everyone else. So I am just going to be one of these fans that enjoys it for what it is, game by game. And as we get further through this competition, there'll be more and more Chelsea fans who don't care about this competition starting to care because we could potentially win silverware this season. I also think it's incredible that if we do go and win this, we'll be the first and only club to win every single European trophy. And that excites me. That really, really excites me to be a club that genuinely makes history for winning all European trophies. So in my opinion, it warrants a box that Chelsea have a 100% win record in the Conference League with one league game to go before the knockouts. We've already qualified, we know that. It would be amazing to get 6 out of 6 because again, it's one of these competitions that if we win it, people expect us to. If we lose, we're an embarrassment. So we can't really win in the eyes of anyone else, but for Chelsea fans, we can enjoy it game by game for what it is. So those are the 5 things that we learned from ASTANA 1, Chelsea 3. Do you agree with my analysis or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you did make it this far to the end of the video, there'll be a thumbnail on the screen. If you do enjoy Chelsea content or you are a Chelsea fan, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.